Hello everyone and welcome back to This Is Real Life. I'm your host Sheri, and on today's Real Life Friday video, I am gonna answer the question that I know is on everybody's mind. How much did this backyard makeover cost me? Let's get into it. Okay, so if you watched Wednesday's video, you will know that I completed 2 more paver patios. One for my outdoor dining room area and one for my fire pit area. And in Wednesday's video, I let you guys know that while the backyard makeover isn't completely done, we gotta put a pause on it. The temperatures are skyrocketing. The Central Valley is like a fireball from hell, and I can't bear to work anymore in that backyard. I mean, you could wake up at like 7 in the morning and it'll already be like 86 degrees out. And since I'm putting in a pause on it, because I'm gonna tell you what, this pause is gonna be a couple of months. All of July is miserable heat. All of August is even more miserable heat. So we may not even get into doing the rest of the backyard until September. So since we're putting a pause on the project, I thought now would be the perfect time to review everything that I've done thus far and how much everything has cost thus far. So it all started about a month ago with the very first backyard makeover video in this series. And that video, we discussed my overall plan and did a lot of operation cleanup work. During that video, I spent no money. It was just sweat equity. It was just labor intense. No money was spent there. And the best part was Operation Cleanup took everything away, and I didn't have to pay one single dime to take anything to the dump. I got all of my trees trimmed, crap put to the curb. Mostly it was tree branches. Got a bunch of stuff cleared out of the backyard, put to the curb, and then magically I woke up one day and it was all gone. Yay, $0 spent on day one. Then we moved on to spending some money. I wanted to get the planter boxes made and the sunshades hung so that I had a little bit more shade in my backyard while I was doing the makeover. I built 7 planter boxes. Now, you know me, I have a spreadsheet. I have a cost spreadsheet right here in my hot little hand. For the planter boxes, I purchased everything I needed from the Lowe's. I got the lantana there, I got the pea gravel there, I got the potting soil, the stain, and I got the lumber. So for the plants and the pea gravel, it cost $121.22. And I did end up purchasing quite a few lantana. At first I was like, oh, 1 lantana for each planter box. But then I changed my mind, and the planter boxes that are more like out in the open and not up against a wall or a fence, I put 2 lantana in each of those planter boxes, 1 on each side of the giant post. Then the potting soil and the stain, which I did buy 2 big old jugs of stain. I didn't even go through 1 whole jug doing the staining of the planter boxes, and I stained them inside and out. So for potting soil and stain, I spent $161.57. And then all the lumber, which I really only used 2x4s for all the boxes, and then I used 4x4s for the posts. That cost me $347. I know. Now, I did end up initially purchasing all of the sunshades from the Temus. However, I was only able to use the one rectangular, the large rectangular sunshade from Temu, because they sent the triangle ones in gray and I ordered cream. So I purchased the rectangular sunshade and the hardware to hang the sunshades from Temu, and that cost me $90.98. And then I did have to run over to the Lowe's to get 2 replacement triangle sunshades, and those cost me $64.97. All told, for the 7 planter boxes and the sunshades, I spent $785.74. I know it sounds like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. That's why it sounds like a lot of money. However, it has created some very good shade areas in what would otherwise be a blazing sunny backyard. So I'm not mad at the $785. I'm not mad at it at all. after the planter boxes were done, I moved right on to creating the ginormous paver patio in front of the stock tank pool. That patio is 11 feet wide by 16 feet long. I purchased everything that I needed for that from the Home Depot, which I know I used to get mad at the Home Depot, but sometimes, it's just not worth the protest. Sometimes you just get a better deal going somewhere else. And in this case, the better deal for the pavers was at the Home Depot. I bought pea gravel, sand, and bender board, and all of the stepping stones. The pea gravel, sand, and bender board cost me $117.47, and all of the stepping stones, which I wanna say I purchased 95 total. I did have some leftovers, which I did use in the fire pit area, and so for all of those stepping stones, I spent $248.08, making that ginormous paver patio cost a total of $365.55. Yeah, I don't know if you're doing the math mentally or you've got a paper, but between those two projects right now, we're at $1,000. So you can see where this is going. Then, after the paver patio was complete, I moved on to the pool deck and refinishing the inside of the stock tank pool. I did have to order the pond shield from the Amazons, 2 kits. I ordered the dark blue kit and then I ordered the light gray kit. Either way, if you have a stock tank pool or you're planning on getting a stock tank pool, mine is an 8-foot round stock tank pool. No matter what, you're gonna have to buy 2 kits of the pond shield to seal the inside, because when I did it initially and I just did it all that light blue color, it took 2 kits. This time, it still took 2 kits. It wasn't because I used 2 different colors, it was just because of the area that I had to cover takes 2 kits. From the Amazon, the pond shield cost me $120. Easy, not a big deal. But then we get into the lumber for the deck. Now, this is a huge deck. It is a pretty big deck for the area. I can fit 2 lounge chairs on it. It curves around the stock tank pool. It has 2 sets of stairs. It's pretty amazing if I do say so myself. But it wasn't cheap. It was not cheap at all. I have it broken down. I did purchase all of the supplies from the Lowe's, the frame lumber and the screws. So the frame lumber is everything underneath that you can't see now, including the big 4x4 posts, as well as those cement things that the posts sit in. All of that cost me $548.80. But it doesn't end there, because once the frame was done, then I had to buy the lumber for the top. Now, I had to go to the Lowe's on 4 different occasions for the top and the stair lumber. So my first trip was platform lumber, which cost me $210.57. Then I had to go back to the Lowe's for more lumber and the stair stringers and the joists to hold the stair stringers in place. Then I had to go back and buy more lumber and another stair stringer because I decided to make the stairs on the side a lot longer. And then I had to go back one more time to buy a little bit more lumber to cover the side for the skirt. And don't forget, I did stain it, but I used the stain that I already had from the planter boxes. So, all in all, everything to make the deck, excluding the stain, cost $1,096.74. I know. We're all choking. But, I mean, what could I do? Lumber's expensive and I wanted a deck that was that big. I've always wanted a deck around that stock tank pool. Ever since I put that stock tank pool plop right where it is, I wanted a deck around it. It didn't matter how much it cost me. I wanted what I wanted. And I love it. So yeah, $1,000, easy come, easy go. Then that brings us to the last 2 paver patios that I just finished on Wednesday's video. If you watch that video, you will know just how much it cost me because I told you. But in case you missed it, I did buy, again, everything at the Home Depot, 68 pavers, but they gave me 2 extra. But I only paid for 68. I didn't steal them. They told me on the pallet.
Oh, you needed 68? Well, we gave you 70.
So they just put them in my cart and I said, okay. Then I also had to purchase 5 additional of the big gray pavers and the pea gravel. I did not have to purchase any sand because I already had sand, but I did have to purchase the bender board and the little stake things that I use to hold the bender board in place. For the dining room patio and the fire pit patio, I kind of split it in half even though I purchased everything all at once. According to my math, the dining room patio cost me $151.96, and the fire pit patio cost me $75.98 for a total of $227.94. Yay! Now, there is one additional thing that I purchased that you guys have not seen yet. I did purchase a new outdoor rug. I got that at the Home Depot as well. It is an 8x10 outdoor patio rug. And I didn't want to spend this much on a rug, but I did. I just couldn't find, believe me, I tried. I went to the Big Lots, I looked online, I went to the Lowe's, I went to the Home Depot, I looked online at the At Home. Nobody had anything halfway cute that was big enough that was cheap. So I had to bite the bullet and I bought this really darling rug and it cost me $150. To be exact, it cost me $150.61. I know, it's a little expensive for a rug, but what are you gonna do? I couldn't have the shitty rug that was under there for years. That rug that was originally under my little outdoor family room, I brought that rug from my old house, and it had been sitting in my backyard at my old house for who knows how many years, and had been sitting outside in this house for 3 years. It was time to let it go. So I bought a new rug for $150. I also made a couple purchases at the IKEA when I went to Pasadena for the Rose Bowl flea market in May. On my way home, I stopped at the IKEA and I bought these really darling lanterns. I don't think I've shown them to you guys, so let me run and get them for you. Look at how cute these are. I got 2 different sizes and my plan is to hang them in the trees back in the back area where I now have put my orange Starbucks table. I got 2 of these larger ones, and my plan is to just put like Dollar Tree battery operated candles in here. I feel like these big ones may have been like $8, and maybe these little ones were like $5, $5.50, I'm not quite sure. So just know I bought these and you'll see them later, maybe in September. Now, I know all of the numbers that we just went over do sound like a lot individually, and believe me, it is a lot, especially when you total them all together. However, I did luck out in some areas. Like I didn't have to purchase any patio furniture. I already had it all, and whatever I didn't have, Aunt Diane gave me 4 brand new chairs for free with chair pads for free. I was able to recycle, reuse, repurpose everything else I have, like the dining room table I made many, many years ago out of 2 doors and like some homemade sawhorses. The chairs for that dining room table I already had. The orange Starbucks table, I made that a long time ago, and that was a free project because it's legit from a Starbucks and they were getting rid of their outdoor patio furniture, so I grabbed one. My patio furniture, I bought that when I moved into this house. The table, the coffee table, I made that, remember? The base was from a find on the side of the road, and I made the top out of scrap wood. I got a couple of things gifted to me from our subscriber, Sugar Booger. I got the outdoor rug that is on the deck and the little bar cart that's on the deck, so I didn't have to spend money on that. Yeah, I just recycled and repurposed pots and plants. I pulled some pots that I had in the front and I moved them to the back. I mean, I may be trying to talk myself into it, but I feel like I did a pretty good job of not going overboard with my spending and only purchasing things that I actually really needed. You may be saying that rug might not be something I actually needed, but I did. I needed it. That was a must purchase. So yeah, everything else, it had to be done. And I will say, and I think I told you this before, I am a firm believer in only spending money that you have. Not $1 that was spent on this backyard was put on a credit card. I paid for everything with cold hard cash money. I saved my tax return money. I always made sure that anything I needed to purchase that I could purchase outright without putting it on a credit card. So while this backyard did cost a little bit more than I wanted it to, I didn't go into debt for it because I only made purchases when I had the money to make those purchases. So that brings us to our grand total. But before we get into that, our friends at Lumary sent me something to test, and it happens to be their water timer. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just as curious as you are. Obviously, you know that just because Lumary sent me something to test does not mean that this video is in any way, shape, or form sponsored by Lumary. It is not. They just sent me this water timer in hopes that I would test it out and give you guys my honest opinion. So that's what we're gonna do. So I am on the Lumary Amazon page, and this is their Lumary Smart Sprinkler Timer 2-zone Wi-Fi water timer for garden hose, manual automatic drip irrigation timer, app voice control, works with Alexa. Now, this water timer is $69.99. I don't know what the going rate of water timers are, but 70 bucks for a water timer? You guys tell me if you think that's expensive or not. It sounds expensive to me, but who knows? Let's see what it's all about. Dun, 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 dun. Here it is. Yay. It happens to be in orange. Yay. As usual, we've got our little pamphlet, rubber gaskety type things. I don't know, like a hose attachment, and it looks like some plumber's tape. Another one of those same things. And what is this? Oh, this is the, it came with the lights. It's like the sync thing, I think, to sync it with your phone or your other products. But here is the little timer dude. I'm assuming this hooks onto your hose bib, and then you've got two, so you could do two different hoses, I'm guessing. What's back here? Batteries. Okay. I hope I have batteries. But before we look, let's read a little bit more about it. I'll get it all set up, and then we'll test it. Smart irrigation. To ensure optimal watering for your plants, Lumary Wi-Fi watering timer offers both regular and cyclical irrigation scheduling, allowing you to customize garden hose timers for watering intervals based on your plant's needs. The Lumary Wi-Fi garden hose timer features a rain delay function, which you can set to skip watering for 24, 48, or 72 hours to conserve water. It's sturdy construction and waterproof, so that's good. Now, we all know I don't have a lot, but out front, I do have tons of plants, and since I don't use my sprinkler system out there, I have been going out and watering them by hand. So I'm hoping this little situation makes me have to stop doing that. Let me read about it. Let me get it set up. Let me get it all in the app on my phone. Let me get a hose hooked up to it. My only thing is like, I do have in the backyard, it was left at the house. I call it a willy water bug. If you were a kid that grew up in the time I grew up, you know what the willy water bug is. I have one of those. My only concern is, if you have it on a timer, do you constantly just have to leave a hose with your willy water bug attached to it out like all day, every day? I don't want to do that, because where my hose is out front, I have to drag the hose. It runs across my driveway and then into my yard. I don't want to leave my hose like that. So maybe a manual sort of timer situation would be better for me. Pull my hose out, set the timer, because that is one thing. When I put the willy water bug out, I have to set a timer on my phone, because believe you me, I have left the water running for a lot longer than I intended because I forget that it's on. So having a timer, manual or via an app, is probably going to be beneficial for someone like me. So yeah, let me get it set up and let's get to watering. It is so hot. My plants are probably in need of good watering out front. So let me get to it. So I downloaded the app, I already have the app downloaded. So I programmed it. It's pretty easy. I set the timer for it to come on in 5 minutes. So I have to get this hooked up in less than 5 minutes. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. So we hook this into this. Then, I guess we just hook this into this. I don't know which one. I picked zone 1, so I'm guessing this side. We will see. If water comes just shooting out of here, we know we have it wrong. I gotta attach my Willy Water Bug, and I just set it for to come on at 6:45 right now. I know that's not the ideal watering time, but I said for 10 minutes. So let me run and go smack this in the middle of the front yard. It is officially 6:42, so we have 3 minutes to see if I did it right. Fingers crossed. Okay. There's my Willy Water Bug out in the yard. We might have to sit here for 30 more seconds. Yeah, it's new with you guys. It came on! It came on! Okay, not gonna lie, that's pretty awesome. Now, in 10 minutes, it should turn itself off. That's pretty cool. The only thing I don't really care for, if you wanted to do it on a timer sort of a situation, you would have to have your hose drug out into your yard prior to the timer going off. Now you can press the buttons for manually turn off and on, so you could drag your hose out, just press a button, or just remember that whatever your watering days are, and when you get home from work or when you wake up in the morning, go pull this out and then it'll do its thing and then you can pull it back in. Because I definitely don't want my hose running across my driveway like that. That's not good. But there are 2 spigots, so you could do your drip line on one timer and your Willy Water Bug on another timer. I just am loving this because now I don't have to think about it. We can just wait 10 minutes and then it should be turned off. I am kind of watering the sidewalk right now because I just threw it out there, but yeah, I'm loving it. Let's just leave it going. We'll check back in 9 minutes and then see if it shuts itself off. Shoot, I almost lost track of time. There's only 1 minute to go before it's supposed to shut itself off. So what I was thinking, I actually have a hose spigot on the opposite side of my house, and I could strategically take that smaller hose, run it down the side, and then have my Willy Water Bug set up that way. And then I could save this hose for watering the plants on the porch and it turned off. Look, it turned off. That's amazing. So I had to come inside because it's really hot outside right now. But that is amazing. If you don't have automatic sprinklers and you have to go out and water your lawn by hand, I don't know what to tell you, but this thing's pretty awesome. And now I'm $69, 100% all day, every day, for me to never have to go unroll the hose, drag it out, stand there and water every single plant individually forever and ever, and then have to roll the hose back up. Yeah, I'm gonna take it off the hose bib that I just put it on. Not right now because it's really hot, but when it's not hot, I'm gonna take it off that hose bib, I'm gonna put it on that side, and that's how I'm gonna water. Even though I have automatic sprinklers, you guys all know that I don't use them, so I have been hand watering. Not to mention, I ran over a couple of sprinklers out there, so even if I wanted to turn my sprinklers on, they would just shoot up water anyways. So another plus, I don't have to fix those sprinklers out there now, because now I have a timer Willy Water Bug. I will say the app was pretty easy to figure out. I already had the app downloaded on my phone because I have the lights, I have the garage light. So I just had to turn my Bluetooth on, sync up the device. It brought me to a page that had spigot number 1 and spigot number 2. And then it brought me to a schedule where I could pick the days, I could pick the time, I could pick how long I want the water to run for. And then I just hit the save button and then it worked. Yeah, if you guys are interested in learning more about the Lumary Smart Sprinkler Timer, I will put the link to their Amazon page in the description box below. Again, this is not sponsored whatsoever. I have used it one time, super easy, and I kind of love it, and I am gonna be using it all the time. It's gonna save me so much time. Not to mention the fact that normally when I pull into my garage after work, as I'm, looking at my yard when I drive in, I'm like, oh, my poor plants, they need to be watered. But then I come inside and then I just forget about it. So yeah, for me, this is gonna come in huge handy. And if you think it's gonna come in huge handy for you, like I said, I'll put the link to their Amazon page in the description box below. You guys can click on it, check it out for yourself. And if you do end up purchasing it, let me know, because I just want to be twinsies with somebody. Now that we've done that, we can get right back into the grand total of everything I've done in this backyard. And if you guys weren't doing the math in your head or writing it down on a piece of paper, I'll tell you what it is. Sunshades, $155.95. Planter boxes, $629.79. Pool deck, $1,096.74. Pool liner, $120. First paver patio, $365.55. Dining room paver patio, $151.96. Fire pit patio, $75.98. Outdoor rug, $150.61, for a grand total so far of $2,746.58. Yep. And I still have to figure out the ground situation. I still have to buy 1 million bags of bark. I still have to rent a rototiller. I still have to do all that. So yeah, there's more money to be spent in this backyard. It's kind of a good thing that it's going on pause right now, because I'm kind of overspending money on this backyard. I love it. I love the way it turned out, but I'm kind of overspending money. I'm also kind of overworking in it. That's really the honest truth. I'm kind of overworking in it right now. So aside from the ground situation, you might be asking yourself, well, what's left to do? Well, I think there's kind of a lot still left to do. The big things are done, minus the ground. I want to, again, hang these lanterns. I have a box of things that I want to go through just to like add a little bit more of my personality to the yard. Like, obviously it's my personality. We've got bright orange table. We've got a giant pink flamingo. We've got an amazing bar that I made out of pallets. I also have some outdoor lights that I want to hang. Oh, there's some things I've been avoiding. The whole side right here, like the flower bed area, I need to weed and go through all of that. There's a shed, but behind the shed is where I have all my wood storage. That's a disaster back there. Then I have this whole side yard that I need to do. You guys have never seen that side yard, and you probably never will, because it is disgusting. I need to clear out the weeds. I need to fix some fence boards because of my neighbor's dogs. So stuff like that, where if you list it out, it seems like a lot, but it's kind of a little. Each task is very minimal, minus the ground. When it gets cooler, I will start doing that, and I will keep you guys posted on that progress. So, was it worth it? Yeah, I think it was worth it. Honestly, I've been living with this backyard being a shit show for like the last 3 years. And the thing is like this whole sunroom, huge sliding glass door there, huge window, huge window, huge window, huge sliding glass door. This whole wall is windows that looks out into the shitty backyard. And I've been living like that for 3 years. So I do think it was worth the $2,700. I do think it was worth all the time and the energy, because now, even though the ground isn't done, if you just look out, don't put your head down, if you just look out, everything is just so much more inviting right now. And it does, not in this heat, make me want to go out there and enjoy it. It makes me want to invite people over to come and enjoy the backyard with me. In the past, I didn't invite anybody over. Ain't nobody looking at that backyard. Anybody that came over, you stop here. We don't go outside, because I was mortified. I was embarrassed and ashamed. And now, these neighbors who I like on this side, the fence is really old school on that side. You guys have seen it a million times. It goes like this. In the dip down, my neighbor, he's really tall. He can just look over the fence. And yesterday he looked over and he was like, oh my gosh, your deck looks so good. I was, looking at it when, it was in the middle of building, and it looks so great. Everything you've done back here looks so great. So that makes me proud, because I did it all myself and it looks good. Now, upon closer inspection of some items, maybe they're not that perfect, but they're perfect enough for me. And I think it looks great. So yeah, to answer my own question, it was worth it. But if you guys don't think it was worth it, let me know in the comments below. So yeah, there you have it, and there it is. Full cost breakdown of everything I spent to get this backyard to where it is right now. And although it's not done, we're calling it done for a couple months, and we're gonna have to revisit it later. So you know what that means. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Also, make sure you have those notifications on so that you don't miss future updates on all the goodness that is gonna be happening in that backyard in months to come. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Also, remember to share it with your friends and family. And as always, thanks for hanging out.